Hey, welcome back to Sports Cards Analysis. I'm JT with another case break simulation. Today I'm going to do a real short one because this product has already been out for about a week. 2023 Topps Gilded Collection Baseball. This is another high-end Topps product. A lot of just basically Topps Chrome with gold. It's kind of a mixture between Topps Chrome and gold label. There's some gold frame stuff, some autographs. I think Gilded Collection's pretty nice. A little higher on the price point, but that's okay. A little disclaimer here: I'm about to give you a bunch of analysis, uh, and if you use that analysis to buy into a break, I hope that you succeed and get a lot of hits. But I'm not responsible if you don't. That's all that disclaimer is. Just know that, uh, you know, that's it. So Steel City has these cases listed for $4,099. I think they might be drying up a little, but there's still a lot of hobby box breaks out there. So if you can get your hands on one, use my analysis to make a smarter purchase. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is the distribution of the cost per team by card type. I'm really only going to break it down by autograph and the total number of cards. What I want to show you here is a couple things. When you look at the checklist and you see who has the most unique cards, it's the Boston Red Sox. But sometimes you don't want to go off of who has the most unique cards. You know, what that means is that when you add up all of the different inserts, parallels, autographs, memorabilia cards, and base cards, you get 99 different versions of cards with different players from the Boston Red Sox. But that doesn't mean that they have the highest actual print runs. In this case, they do, but sometimes they don't. But if you look here, some of this stuff might be out of order. You got a 45 before 47. So sometimes you look at who has the most unique cards, but some teams have a higher print run, even if they have lower number of cards. And a lot of times that's because of the base. Now, obviously, these teams have more than 3,000 cards because there's many, many cases of this. What I do here is I'm just showing you actually, on autographs, I think that's probably the case because I think they're all serial numbered. I don't think there's any non-serial numbered cards. If there are, I just assume there's 500. The reason I do that is because when I simulate these case breaks, I actually create one card for every card that exists. So if the print run's 500, I have 500 rows in a spreadsheet of that card. That allows me to run the simulation. And when I run the simulation, just so you're aware, every time a card is put into a case, it's off the checklist. That means that it's no longer in my data set. So that when cases are built for the simulation, it's only pulling from cards that would be available. So this is just like a assembly line. It's just like a print shop would do case assembly. And I use the pack odds and I use the hobby box configuration. The only thing I don't calculate it in great detail is the actual print run of most of the base sets. So anyway, because this video is shorter, I feel like I have to explain some of that stuff. But if you want to see the long form of a lot of this analysis, watch one of the other videos of the products pre-release. I do a lot more analysis. So what I'm doing here is I'm breaking out the price of this product as if every single card, autograph, base, memorabilia, insert, parallel, was all valued at the exact same price point, a few cents really. And then I distribute that cost until it reaches $4,099.96. So if that way, if you were to buy into a break just based on the probability of getting a hit, so you're buying into the teams that have the most autographs or the most cards, you want to pay these prices. So if you want to pay just based on probability of getting a card, you want to pay 318 for the Red Sox. I know that's not how these are going to be priced, but I want you to be informed that if you were to buy into breaks strictly based on probability, which is how a lot of gamblers in Vegas reduce their odds that they are gambling and increase the odds that they'll actually win. You base on probability, base your bets on probability. Once you're paying a rate outside the probability of a hit, then you're gambling. That's basically the idea here. So if you want to ensure that maybe you're paying a fair market value, 318 is about what you should pay. And here's the top 10 for those teams by autograph. Now I'm actually going to sort this by the total number of cards by team, and we're going to look at that. So if you want to pay by the probability that you'll get any card, this is just autographs. This is any card. These are the prices you want to pay. So I'll just show you the teams there. That was 1 through 10. This is 11 through 20, and this is 21 through 30. So if you're paying these prices, then you're paying for the probability. Now I also do a strength of checklist. I want you to kind of draw your attention to this bolded text right here. I simulate 200 case breaks. I used to do 20, now I do 200. And I simulate those case breaks, and then I break out the averages for all of the teams on ROI. I get the ROI by aggregating data from eBay and check out my cards. What I do is then I take different levels of value that players have. So Shohei Ohtani would be a 5 in this scale, and someone like, I don't even know. Let me just use a Cubs example because it's top of mind. Someone like um, Chris Coughlin might be a 1 because there's not a lot of people out there buying his cards. Used to be a high draft pick, just doesn't sell that much. So you might not sell it at all. You might sell it at a loss. So I base my product strength off of that, and I base my ROI calculations based on all that data I get from eBay and check out my cards. So let's look at this product as a whole. The autograph checklist comes out at a 3.0. There's some duds, but there's some real killer stuff out there. The total product, when you add in the parallels and the base cards, 3.1 out of 5. So the checklist is pretty strong, but Topps tends to throw a lot of lower end rookies in a lot of these products, which water it down somewhat, but it also makes the hits more impactful. So let's look at the average ROI for 200 cases. And he's like, that's a low number. Remember, we're not getting hits in every case. So the best in the best, this is average ROI. So we actually divide. What I do is I add up all the value and then I divide it by 200. So that means that the best team you can possibly buy, the best ROI you're going to get is the Angels. But I'll show you in a minute how many times I actually hit the Angels. Okay, they actually have a product strength of 6. They have great players, Ohtani, Trout, but they're not the best. The Yankees have the number one best product strength. So they have the strongest checklist for autographs, the strongest checklist for base cards, and for the full product, strongest checklist. So even though the strongest checklist is this order, so they have the best overall ROI, that doesn't mean that we're always getting hits, because remember, print runs matter. So when you get the print runs and you do the simulation of 200 cases, you also have, like with the Yankees, keep in mind that there's a Babe Ruth cut auto. Okay, keep in mind that there's a lot of really, really rare cards, which I'll also go over. So here's your average ROI teams 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30. Just take screenshots and use this when you make your purchases. And I guess there's a blank team there, probably because there are non-baseball players in this. For the cut autos, there's like presidents and stuff. So there you go. Take screenshots, go back if you missed it, take screenshots and use this. That's the ROI, that's in order. But let's look at what happens when we actually get a hit. Okay. So instead of dividing it by 200, let's divide it by the number of cases where we actually got a hit. So here's the average ROI in cases where that team hit. So in 200 breaks, I hit a Angels autograph in 61 cases. So averaged out, we typically, when it hits, make about $172 just on the autographs. This first table assumes that we sell every card, base, parallels, and autographs. This assumes that you're just selling the hit type here that I have in this hit type column. So let's just look at this average ROI, okay, by the hit type. So we actually hit the Yankees in 112 cases. Let's see who hits the most. The Cardinals hit the most, but the average ROI was very low because they're base. So the base cards obviously are gonna. But if we look at autographs, we hit Red Sox autographs in 122 cases for an average ROI of $30. That's not very good. I'll be honest with you. If you pay the price that I had above, 2 tables ago, you pay 200 something dollars, and you're averaging out at $30. That kind of tells you that the value is not there. You're hitting a lot, but don't pay based on probability. Pay way less because your ROI is just not there. We hit the Yankees in 112 cases and made an average ROI of 83. That's much better. Now that's average ROI, so keep in mind that you might hit way more, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands even, and same thing with the Red Sox. But let's keep looking at the average ROI. So here's 1 through 10. Keep in mind the hit type here. So these are the autographs. And again, these are like those cut autos. We got a cut auto, looks like in one case. I made an average ROI of $52. That probably is not the case. That's probably a low number there. And I'll tell you why once I get to that. There you go. Here's page 3. I'll just go through like the first, I don't know. I'll just go through all of them since there's only 7 pages. So these are by hit type and team, your average ROIs. And so they're very low. Okay. And then finally, I just want to show you how the 1 through 5 tiers are distributed. Here they are. Now I just do want to do one thing that I don't normally do, which is show you the actual data here. So I ran 200 simulations, and I want to just look at the cut autos. There are cut autos. We got a Winston Churchill, and so that was the one that's listed for 50 something dollars. Obviously, that's incorrect, but can you imagine how much data there is for Winston Churchill autographs? Not very much, especially on Check Out My Cards. So what's likely happening here is that I had to take data from Winston Churchill cards, things like, historical trading cards that are on Check Out My Cards with Winston Churchill on them. They're driving the value down. So that's why it's $50. But I want you to look at this here. If you're chasing these cut autos, it took 143 cases just to hit the first one. And that was a Babe Ruth cut auto, so pretty awesome. But it took 163 cases to hit the non-sports one. So if you're the guy who's like, I'm going to buy the non-sports slot in this team break, don't do that. That's not a good idea. So I just wanted to show people that's how many cases it took to get those cut autos. So that's the shortened version. I'm not going to show all the other data. I simulate 200 breaks, and then I just break down all that stuff. Thanks for watching Sports Cards Analysis. I'm JT. Thanks for watching. Bye.